So he hit me on my mouth and he broke all my teeth. He said to Kajali that your time has come to an end. I see nothing else except
I'm not afraid to die because I know that if I die today, one fine day you will find me in the next world. That's what made Sanna more angry. He insulted the man's mother. When he insulted the mother, he just turned the sword and swung the sword. Kajali's head went this way and the body fell on the other side. At that instant, I was unable to recognize anything.
Mali put the plastic bag over the head of Ndurcham. At that time, his hands were handcuffed behind his back. When he put those plastic bags over the head of Ndurcham, I also joined them
with the help of Rambo.
Rambo helped us,
and Ndurcham suffocated.
And we suffocated Ndurcham to death.
For more than 2 decades, the Gambia lived under a shadow, the time when enemies of the state vanished in the night. And when one name whispered across villages and city corners struck fear into the hearts of the ordinary Gambians, Sanna Manjang, a soldier, a jungler, a man accused of some of the most brutal crimes in the Jammeh's era, a fugitive who escaped justice for years until the world finally caught up with him in 2025. This is the story of Sanna Manjang, his rise, his role, his escape, and the long road that led to his capture.
A former Gambian ex-soldier who was accused or who is accused of being part of the junglers.
We have jungler Sanna Manjang extradited to Gambia.
Sanna Manjang is reported to have come from a village called Kanmamudro in Funyi Jaro district. His father was Sekunduro Manjang and his mother Mai Sambo. He attended Brikama Secondary School, also known as Alpha Khan. A maternal uncle called Lieutenant Idrissa Sambo, who worked as a medic in the army, is reported to have helped him join the National Army. Sanna Manjang began as a young soldier in the Gambian Armed Force, but his life changed when he was selected to join the secretive elite forces created under the guise of national security, border protection, and anti-rebellion duties in the Casamas region. That unit would later be known as the Junglers. To the government, they were protectors. To the people, they became something else, a force of operations outside the law, feared for their secrecy, loyalty, and unquestionable obedience to the former president, Yahya Jammeh. In this environment, Sanna Manjang rose quickly and dangerously.
He said to Kajali that your time has come to an end. I see nothing else except to kill you.
That's what made Sanna more angry. He insulted the man's mother. When he insulted the mother, he just turned the sword and swung the sword. Kajali's head went this way and the body fell on the other side. At that instant, I was unable to recognize anything.
As the junglers' influence grew, so did the list of their alleged victims. Opposition voices disappeared. Journalists were hunted. Migrants were executed under false accusation. And testimonies later revealed torture chambers, midnight operations, and extrajudicial killings carried out with chilling evidence. Within this dark machinery, one name appeared repeatedly during TRRC testimony: Sanna Manjang. Witnesses described him as one of the most feared men in the unit, ruthless, loyal, and deeply involved in the operation meant to eliminate those who challenged the regime. From the killing of journalists, the Haidara, to the torture of detainees, to the execution of West African migrants, his name surfaced again and again. In 2016, Jammeh lost the presidential election. His two-decade rule collapsed almost overnight. As the new government began dismantling the structures of fear and repression, many members of the junglers were exposed. Some surrendered, some testified, but not Sanna Manjang. He disappeared. Rumors placed him in Senegal, Guinea-Bissau, and Mauritania, always ahead of the law. For victims seeking justice, his escape felt like a final insult.
Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alamin. Sana la mutomi ya dili abim Adam Baroleti. Adam ale wok sabo. Sana nyanta mutala juna because ntulo bala jang. Jongula mujama mutatu babu du. Ye kitini be soron kanje. So jongula dol be kasamas din jide be saute man kami moy. People like Sananyol in Bora, I don't know, Bora Koli, something like that. Kata nuha baji nyolu. Well, be ko be kasamas jandon. Ko be ngasanal fo muto men kan nuha baji fo to mo jere ka fo ya fana mutale boto we don't know. Okay, but Sana Musa fala mutabali ya kabiring biring ala maybe sunta Adama Barolla. Ba oni Adama effort ke nga parisa no pourka because Adama bira na nan akabe security reform le kala jam. Force nim wala Adama la diamoti. Yo security reform ya lo kala dawdan. Tenu jonglal be nyata mutalal. But Adama na security reform fe manka ja ko do min base penda ko do molbe ya lone. But han fe manke. Jongulal dol tata inate be do ko Adama la masakunda ko.
For nearly 8 years, Sanna Manjang lived as a fugitive. Report emerged of him hiding in customers, blending into the local communities, and assisted by the networks sympathetic to the Jammeh's old system.
I have no fears about Sanna Manjang or any other person. Maybe close to Sanna Manjang because of the circumstances come and go ahead and before then could have and now I have actually argued. No, you can be rest assured. Sanna Manjang don't worry about the death. Sanna Manjang don't go betray.
Human rights groups demanded his arrest. Victims waited. Families of the murdered spoke before the TRRC, hoping the truth would someday lead to justice. Still, he remained out of reach. The man who once brought fear to others now lived in fear of being found.
Don't worry. Rebasila. Ngalanga mina wala puru. Ima makakonya wala alimbe ngake kilomita drong. Wala kuole wala tunaka ofonya. Kitabu nyininka. Aini
amalla vikawal fana sabana.
Mundoto. No. Wol ka min faye yalla wala tuneno ate ay umutante kamay
So arana ka fo komi o basila ka fo komi enayel ke nada ke no ko igama
gaille akoli o faye rambole akol.
Everything changed in late 2025. Working quietly and without announcement, Senegalese forces tracked him down in the Casamance region. After years of avoiding capture, the net finally tugged around him. On 2nd December 2025, he was extradited to the Gambia, handcuffed, surrounded by security, and flown back in the country he once terrified. For many Gambians, it was a moment they had been waiting for. A chance for justice, a chance for truth, a chance for closure.
So he hit me on my mouth and he broke all my teeth. That time I fainted. I was not in the world. I was not aware of anything happening in the world. Since that morning, until sunset, night fell and I was not aware of anything. I was lying down. I was lying on the ground. After that, when night fell, he cursed my mother and said to me, "Today I will kill you." You will speak the truth, or your corpse will come out of this place.
The arrest of Sanna Manjang is more than just a capture of a fugitive. It is a turning point. For victims, it symbolizes acknowledgement of their pain. For the Gambia, it represents a step towards accountability after decades of fear. And for the future, it raises a new question. Can justice truly be served for the crimes committed so long ago? On the 3rd December 2025, during the first court appearances, reports say Sanna Manjang refused to speak to the judges. When asked if he understood the charges, he stayed silent. When pressed again, he became argumentative, challenging the process instead of cooperating. The courtroom watched as a man once feared for his authority now struggled against the authority of the law itself. His behavior forced the magistrate to transfer the case to the High Court, where more serious charges are expected to be handled. The next step will determine how the Gambia confronts each past and whether a new chapter of justice can finally begin. Because this will not be the story of only one man, it will be the story of an entire era.